an area. Oh,
Yep.
good. Okay. You find an area that. Oh, let's fill this up. You first originally walk past a number of beds, all of which seem to have been dedicated to the kind of fighting force of the Forgotten. You see none of their weapons per se; they're kind of stowed underneath their beds. But you see simple armor kind of adorning them. A few kind of just joking, playing cards, keeping themselves busy. But your staircase upwards kind of takes you astride all that. So you can climb the stairs simply enough. And what you finally do, you see a room that is much more simple than that below it. There are no real beds here. They're just kind of like rolls, like simple cloth rolls that you can put out. Um, and probably a good number of them, enough for each of you to have one to yourself.
Crow is already on the one that he has claimed. Is there a window?
Let's give you one. Why not? Who cares? Yeah.
He is sitting at a window, ideally one aimed towards the tomb, and is staring out at that while he drags some malformed whetstone across the tip of his spear, with his hooks laid out in neat order for future sharpening.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, Crow kind of considers the temple, or sorry, the tomb. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to do before we push on tonight? Nope.
Probably not.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think for the night, no. Especially if we're not alone in here.
Currently you are. But as I push things forward, you will no longer be. Um, it's about nightfall, and Crow from below, you hear a kind of a voice talking to the woman, bargaining and negotiating. And if you turn your eyes down to the man, you see kind of a bearded individual pawning forth a few pieces of silver, and that the woman just kind of holds up into the light, the fading light, and she just gives a kind of a over the head thumb to the building, and you see him quickly move into it. And just as soon as he disappears into the building, you hear the sound of ascending footsteps. And Rostavan, you see a familiar face, the one very much bloodied and tired, and more haggard than you remember it, as Lucas Mueller, the kind of original thief that you met back in the bulwark, ascends the staircase.
Oh.
And he kind of gives a very tired glance around the room until his eyes finally settle on the two sockets of your mask. And he will kind of approach, tapping his side, and say, "Hey there, friend. Looks like you made it out just fine. I'm a bit singed myself."
Oh, yeah, that guy. You made it.
Yeah, I did. Took a bit of ingenuity and a lot of running, but I made it. Here to the Tomb of the Forgotten, no less. And
Uh-huh.
he will take a seat, and he'll very frankly say, "But me, I'm a professional. I won't let emotions get in the way of good business."
Are we all in the same room?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't really seem to consider any of you. He's talking strictly to Rostavan.
Is there something you want to get off your chest, friend?
Now, just a few things I'm noticing. For one, you got your shackles off. Stuck with the rest, though, aren't you?
For now.
His shackles are not off. See? They're right there.
Oh, no. He means you see, Ricote, him, he and I were shackled together earlier. You can imagine having 3 layers of shackles. It was
Look
not
like
a
a
good time.
three-legged race, says Lucas.
Ah, you are prisoners.
Aren't we all? But
No.
that's not what I wanted to. Yeah, he will, be cut short and just like, yeah, he will look at you pointedly.
No. What?
I am no prisoner.
No.
Nar.
No, what's she bloody mean?
Then why are you dressed like one?
I don't like to waste my time with chum. They barely have head enough to stand on water, much less to live out here.
Wait. You vacationed here?
He will look at you plainly and say,
Oh no, I'm saying that to Matt.
oh yeah.
Jeez. To me, Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas.
Lucas just was like, you know what? That's on me. You guys figure your stuff out.
You know
and
what?
then
Forget
I'll,
it. He walks outside, gets on his flying mount, and he's out of here.
It's
Gets
10
on his-
o'clock, but he'd rather be out there
After
than
he
with you.
spent money
fucking
to get in
idiots.
here.
Gets on this one-person Zeppelin he got at BlizzCon 2017. He takes off.
It's got his fucking guild insignia on the side of it.
It's a dick and balls.
I paid for
great.
this set.
Like, she'll look at you and she'll say, I return here usually every 20 years, though I am here early.
Oh, and you anticipate coming to this place?
There are many people here that seek help. They seek a true end to their suffering. That is why I come here. That is not why I came here this time.
Oh, all right. Anyway, whatever the hell your name was, you had some beef with me?
He will laugh despite himself and just say, I think we're past that. What I'd really like to talk about is the rest of that iron you're carrying around. See, I still need some help. I haven't found anyone dependable yet. And I'm thinking, a man like you might just be desperate enough.
What are you getting at?
Your shackles. You help me, I get them off. Can't do much about this. And I'll say, pointing to your head, kind of seeming to know how difficult it would be to handle. But he'll say, lucky for you and I, this place is better stocked than I remember it.
It does seem more organized this time.
When
Sure.
we first met, you implied that you might find somebody to get these off, whatever your name was. And now you're telling me that you're going to be able to get them off yourself. Pardon me, but I've known a lot of thieves and crooks and cut purses in my time. And you're kind of just sounding like one of those.
Sorry, I could barely hear you over that echo in there. I'll say, just kind of looking into the eye hole.
Rakote will cough to get attention. and he'll,
What?
Not to
He'll
get
say.
attention, but everyone looks anyway.
he'll cough
He
because
feels emotionally obligated to speak now that everyone's looking at him from coughing.
yeah, he'll cough because the Bens are finally taking him. He has only minutes left.
A fishbowl. Give me a fishbowl.
He's sitting perfectly in like a rocking chair. All he does when he dies is just slowly lean back slightly as he dies. That's it. That's the whole animation. Just barely leans back.
He coughs and he says, I have the biggest swordfish you've ever seen. Caught fresh this morning, 350 pounds. It could feed 30 men, fill their bellies for 7 days. But it's just outside. You can't see it until you help me, young man.
I have a rat.
And I've had about enough of this place. I'll
He
say,
says, He says,
what's this to you? I'll say very frankly.
He says, What's this to me is you seem to have crossed this island twice now to harass my friend here, to offer him a service of which you have no guarantee. He's made it clear that he understands that you have no guarantee, and here you are running your mouth. Uh, where were you when we were building the bridge? Crossing on your own in the ravine, leaving whoever it was you traveled with behind so that you could get here? He doesn't trust you, sir. You've given him no reason to. If you could take his shackles off right now, perhaps he would be inclined to help you, perhaps not. That's his to say. But you offer him nothing but empty words. It's a long
Yeah.
night. We're all very tired. So, do you have an action to show or more hollow words?
I know better than to pay a man before the job's done.
How has that
You're not.
worked out for you on the Isle of Rats?
He'll just smile and say, "Keep pretending like you understand this place. That's fine." And
Like
he will
the
just go ahead.
like the SCP that only moves when you're not looking. Crow is sitting and alarmingly directly facing the room and looking with both eyes toward Lucas with hands on his knees. And he
Yeah.
gets up and begins to stride across, pointing at Lucas, and he says, "Thou, brigand, thief." Almost as a question.
I've been called worse.
Break locks. Open doors.
Sure. What, you want a demonstration?
He walks back to the window and points out to the tomb. He says, "You open that."
He will get up and then squint and then try to look past the Tomb of the Forgotten and then finally realize that's what you're pointing at. And he will just say, "And I'm asking too much. Are you serious? You know what you're pointing at? That's the Tomb of the Forgotten. That's Arno's. That space belongs to Arno. It's a damn fortress."
Crow removes the opium from his jacket and offers it on an open palm.
"I already told your friend." Actually, you know what he'll say? Obviously, our mutual friend doesn't care much for deals. And he'll close the hand with the opium. And he'll say, "I don't have any need for that stuff. But I do have a job that needs to get done. You help me, I help you."
State it.
He'll kind of go to the other window and point eastwards towards the plague pits. And he'll say, "Need you to look into a grave for me. Something left behind. I know the grave site, I know where to look. But I'm going to need some muscle."
He appraises this for a while, looks back out towards the tomb, and then looks toward the zero burglary on my sheet, and will do the math really carefully in his head, and then slowly nod his assent to Lucas.
He will, despite himself, kind of smile and say, "We're getting somewhere. Good, good. Tomb by the name of Gorky. It's got a little artifact in it, something important. You'll know when you see it." And he'll start reaching into his pocket to retrieve something, a simple kind of drawing. And you'll see that it is 3 locations marked on a tomb map that's been kind of like drawn out. Need you to look here, here, and here. It's a tiny little thing, but again, it glitters like gold. You'll know when you see it. You bring it back to me, I'll get you in there.
Crow wraps his gnarled fingers around the proffered guide sheet and stows it in his wet note department, and making furious eye contact with Lucas, just slowly nods again.
He will look towards you, Rostavon. And despite himself, just say nothing. Just kind of grin and then sit on his own cot. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. You'll know it when you see it.
You'll know it when you see it. How to draw manga.
And he'll now completely regard you, Crow, since you're kind of his partner in this, and say, I'll set up here. What's her name? I'll talk to Hilda. Make sure I can stay up here for the next few days. You get it done, you come back to me. Don't worry, I won't be sitting on my hands. Tomb of the Forgotten. That's going to be a tough one.
Crow's only response at at the man's justified whinging about the difficulty is just to reaffirm him and say, "Do it."
Yeah, he'll just nod, seemingly to be like running over some things in his mind before he lays down in his own cot and stares up at the wooden rafters.
Well, it'd be awkward to sit here after having that discussion, so I'm just going to go out in the night and try my luck with the rats. It's too
The
too
rats
awkward.
are like, eesh. Come on out, man. I get it. Put a knowing hand over your shoulder. Yeah, but if that is the last thing, we will descend into night, and you guys will have a +5 shelter to roll with.
Like,
yeah,
pleasantness of settling in a night. Like, we all tuck up, and then just the exterior of the house is a swarm of rats run into it, and all of us are screaming, and then they run back out in the morning.
Yeah, it's a giant tornado descends of rats. In the middle of Canada. Guy taken up into it, he never stops yelling.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and resolve that. So
Is
the
that
challenge is
physique
8
+5?
-5.
So,
So
Do we
3.
clear?
Oh.
We clear that other stress first.
Yep, clear all
Okay.
the stress from the day, so it won't compound or anything.
Okay.
What was
and
my
fate-
food?
What's up,
What
Sean?
did my food do? Did that do something for this, or is
That
that for?
that immediately resolved it last.
Oh, okay.
So currently, yeah, it was free. Now you're gonna have to do this again.
And then fate points refresh now too.
Not until you roll.
Okay, after.
First you roll against the vermin roll. You take
Okay.
the stress boxes and then you refresh fate points.
Okay.
God damn it.
So
Okay.
we're not rolling with a +5. It's just it took the challenge down.
Yep.
To a
Challenge is a
+3.
3.
Okay.
So 2 for 2. Okay, 2, 2, none, 1.
I've got lapels full of rats, and I'm jealously
You are
looking
in the
over
window.
at Rakote, confidently smiling as rats crawl over him but can't pierce his hide. He's smiling, looking into the middle distance.
Like Ralph Wiggum.
Crow's eyes dart nervously from all the rats that are clawing at his face to Rakote, who's in the same position but is for some reason unbothered.
Crow found a really badass way to sit, but it's kind of like getting annoying to sit like that for too long. But he can't swat the rats away while sitting like this. So.
I mean, you are near the window, so maybe they fucking...
Well, I also don't want to say, like, this is not thousands of rats.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
you're in a fucking house. It's more so, like, imagine you're trying to get to sleep and a fly lands on your face. It
Yeah.
just, like, keeps waking you up. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but in this case, it's a rat. And it's not biting you, but it is very annoying.
Yeah.
It does have wings.
It has a
is.
YouTube channel it's trying to get you to watch, and you just fucking don't have the time right now.
I review
Raid
old
Shadow
movies.
Legends.
Movies. Hereditary, you seen that? Too scary.
That
I
little
won't-
I didn't finish it. It was too scary.
Make sure you get a good night's sleep before you see Hereditary, because it's going to have a lot of twists and turns you're not going to really understand.
Shut
if you don't have a good
up.
night's sleep.
I hate this rat.
Yeah. Sean's the rat now.
I've seen Hereditary.
Make sure you get a full meal and stay hydrated before you
Wasn't
go to
that
the
scary,
theater.
God,
So you
dude?
gotta
Just like grow up.
It's like a fucking death called. I don't know, man. I know the head scene was
I
fucked
didn't get
up.
it.
Relax.
You ever seen Ratatouille? Wow. Really? You're gonna bring that up? Of course I've seen it, but Jesus Christ, you're
Make
assuming
sure you
shit.
get a good night's sleep before you see Ratatouille. You might not understand the themes that happen in Ratatouille.
You're like actively trying to get a good night's sleep, but Rakote is watching this on his phone at full volume. Oh, a new Rat Reviews video. Yes!
Oh man.
Rat Cote.
I will be right back. Give me 1 minute.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. I'm gonna reroll.
All right, so what happens?
I'm completely okay with the situational aspect he didn't say, but because it's part of my world, then I'm fine with it. But his thing, fuck you. Fuck all
I don't
three
like any of
them.
your ideas. I like my idea.
Your ideas
Yeah.
suck.
All right. So, night passes. You each sleep as best you can, and as the 6 o'clock sun kind of finds its way into the window, each of you come awake.
Crow always sits up from sleep like the Undertaker getting up.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the wrestler, obviously. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
I think I had to clarify.
Not a lot of Undertaker fans in here giving the reaction, I see. Not a lot of Undertaker love in here. Should have been.
But you
really
love The
burning-
Rock, though, don't you? Jesus
Yeah, but you love The
Christ.
Rock. Real fucking original. You big John Cena fans? You fucking
Oh, yeah,
whelps?
you can't see him.
What does that mean? He's
You
right
can't
there.
see him. You cannot see him.
He's
He
like
puts the hand in front of his face.
he's
I
like
love when he
8
does
feet
that.
tall and equally as wide. What do you mean you can't
And
fucking see him?
And he's an incredible actor. I'm so glad he broke into acting.
China loves him.
What? Is that a thing?
Yeah, dude, we can't get into it. We cannot get
They
into
do.
it. Yes.
Later.
Yes,
They
no, they do.
Fucking-
It's really weird.
Dog-eared John Cena has a home in China. He's always welcome there.
He almost fucked up, but he saved face with China. So, I don't
Man.
know, man. We can really talk about that one.
Yeah, we don't have the
Yeah,
time.
oh,
I
fuck
need- I-
you, Declan. That's amazing. Oh, fuck.
Bad.
Crow sits up
Yeah.
like the Undertaker. Everyone laughs really hard at the comparison, and
That's a great joke.
He immediately gets out. Don't patronize me. He gets out of bed.
I'm laying there with one of my giant Justice League things behind my head for support because there's no pillows.
Yeah.
Justice League things.
The gauntlets.
Oh,
Like, silly
His
gauntlets
prison
on.
bonds.
do you have a photo like reference of this, Sean?
Yes.
I don't know.
There
what you mean.
is. What's fucking annoying me as I looked it up, and I think there was one. They cut off. It was like Green Lantern, but they literally cut the image off right above his hands, so you
Oh,
can't fucking see
I
the
can
what
see
he's
what you
wearing.
mean. Yeah.
They're like just giant Coke cans that are like painted metal color, and they're just around their hands.
It kills me because it's in literally every single version of the superhero animated too, because it was all done by the same
DC, yeah.
designer. Yeah, who did all this. And you do see Lucas kind of poring over his belongings before fitting them into a tight pack, and he will regard you, Crow, and say, "You know where to find me." He'll head downstairs.
I let him go before saying, I don't know where to find him, but
Oh.
our hearts will guide us.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's meant to be, we'll see him again.
Yeah, I obviously let him go without any acknowledgement.
Yeah, and he'll just kind of almost forgetting something. He'll just say, "My advice is move quick before Filth knows you're there."
Crow will simply slowly trawl. Filth. And then march out the door.
Right. Wow. Yes. Well, God, those aren't even the ones I'm thinking of.
There's one version of them. They're like
Yeah.
everywhere though. They always have these giant Coke cans around their hands.
Justice League Unlimited, even,
Yeah.
which is arguably one of the best superhero cartoons ever made.
This
you
is
think-
honestly a bondage awakening.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you think that keypad can register how fast the Flash is inputting those numbers?
No.
Like, he's got to stop and do it at a regular speed.
Wow, that's funny.
He's
No.
going to get an error message. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
You
there's
can't do it slow enough. It's a critical flaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we cut to the Flash's POV where he has to very slowly press 1, and then you witness the anguishing fucking year that it takes him to wait between button presses
Yeah,
before the
that's-
I am
sun
a man who
register.
lives in sand.
That's his trouble aspect for sure. Everything he does is a little just too fast.
Like those 3 little buttons down there just light up red every single time he touches this because it's not accepting his code, and I don't believe anything else.
Kane, you have a campaign?
Yeah, end of campaign. Good work.
Oh,
Great.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
The rats are bigger now and stronger, and they're coming at you.
Rats
and
win.
There's no
All right.
conceivable reality in which
we
you
didn't-
Yeah,
survive.
everybody
Yeah, we
roll
didn't beat the
athletics. You
timer.
got a 15 coming
No,
at you.
don't roll athletics. It's not important.
Oh, shit.
It's not important.
technically there's a roll, but also it's basically going to be a failure.
We're all going to just take turns describing how we're eaten by rats, and then that's the last episode.
If you roll good enough, sure, I'll let you describe it.
I'll give, on a successful style, you get a choice.
Success with style is start with the head and work down, so you don't. You're
Yes,
not alive for
yes.
most of it.
Agreed. That's definitely true.
Jesus.
But your soul is trapped in your body, so unfortunately you do have to keep being in there.
Dang.
All right. So currently it's just you four. You hear the sound of kind of moving beds and tables below you as all the soldiers kind of ready themselves, taking up their armaments and heading out into the aisle.
Is the plan that we're going to go to the Tomb of the Forgotten first, and then the Tomb of Gorky second?
No, I think we gotta go there
It's the opposite.
first.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Okay, we have to go to the Tomb of Gorky first.
Yeah. We need to do this guy's chore so he can break in for us.
Or you can just go for it.
Yeah, I ain't
I
doing shit.
see.
Jesus.
My God.
That line is heavier than I remember it.
Yeah. No, they weren't
Jesus.
fucking around whenever tonally the Reavers showed up.
Yeah.
That was the entire inspiration behind Banshees, which we didn't see much of in Condor.
Yeah, almost lost a dragonkin too.
That's right. There was a very
Yep.
real threat of losing that one.
Yup.
Rakote will stand, and he'll say, before we depart for the Tomb of Gorky, I have business to attend to in the Tomb of the Forgotten.
Crow looks up toward the castle as if Rakote is somehow referencing something else. And he isn't one to question out loud, but he will just give a confused expression as Rakote means to just walk into the place he's currently working to bust open.
Um, he'll kind of wave his hand and he'll say, "It is not with Arno. Uh, there is something urgent I must attend to for our friend Rastavan before the Tomb of Forgotten ceases to exist entirely."
Crow just sits there quietly, takes this, and then we'll look to the pale lady to see if this is some bullshit she's also going to follow into, or if she's with him.
Hmm. She'll, I guess, confusedly look at Rakote and say, "You intend to break into the tomb by yourself?"
He says, "Do I look like I intend to break in?" No, no. I seek counsel with a man named, and I already fucking forgot it. I think I wrote it down.
Jim
Oh yeah,
Boy.
no, we're Jordan.
With a man named Jordan. Likely much more bureaucratic than the approach that we will be taking to fulfill the end of the bargain with Mr. Mueller.
If we can just walk, I shouldn't say just, if we can walk into the tomb, why would we need to break into it?
I don't believe I'll be permitted entry. I just need to speak with the man, whatever capacity that looks like, however far in I'm allowed to go. This is not breaking through the bulwark of soldiers. This has little bearing on our plan, but you see, I have two hands, your friend has two hands, and you have your fins. Rastavan, he has no hands. We need to rectify that.
And he will scream.
He's gonna start walking and he's gonna say, "You do not need to wait for me. If I return to the attic and you're gone, I will wait here until it's time."
She'll
Obvious-
look at Crow.
Yeah, obviously Crow is not wait. He says that and you turn and Crow's in motion.
We will need this man to fulfill, or to find, I need to write his name down. It's right up here. Charlie
Jim Boy.
Arno. She'll say, "You believe we need this man to find the king, Arno?" She's talking about the guy you want to help.
He'll say, "No, this is purely to free Rastavan from his bondage."
She will say, "Well, then you must do what you must." That's Jesus Christ. You will do what you must.
Well, fuck me.
No worries.
"Yeah, I will." And he'll say, "Come along, Rastavan."
Here, boy.
Yeah. Better to get these things off sooner rather than later.
She will look at you, Crow, and say, "Then I will follow your lead, as is part of our accord."
Yeah, he's whenever someone begins walking, Send Me on My Way automatically begins to play in my head, and it's been stuck in my head for the last 10 minutes. So Crow is constantly in motion.
All on the way.
Oh my. I would like to hold my
Pretty close. Jesus.
Tell you to run.
That's a murder song. People have been killed to that fucking track. I refuse to believe otherwise.
That's why it's my theme.
I feel like there's probably a very easily like an Audacity you could shift that to a minor key. It's really unsettling.
Add some wet reverb to it.
Ugh.
Perfect.
Ugh.
If it's wet, it makes it sound more like it's coming from something metal or something underground.
Ugh. All right. So let's follow Rastavan and Rakote first, then, and then we'll join the others.
Okay.
And in fact, let me just copy paste you. Just one moment. I'm gonna set this up real quick. This is thankfully that thing I was saying. We might end up here, so I should have it ready. I'm glad I took the few minutes.
I can't wait. I'm about to pull a crude, and I'm going to walk up and I'm going to be like, you might want to check your security. I think there's somebody trying to break in. And like everyone's like, Dave, why did you fuck over Lucas Mueller?
I just wanted the king to be pleased with me, so I told him I just wanted him to be happy.
Sword friends.
Rakote takes a knee and bows, and he's like, I pledge myself in your service.
Our will is done, king brother. And then he's like, what? That's right. Rakote's a king.
Fourth king.
Yeah, fourth in line. But there's no way in hell he's ever going to let you. There's no way. Look at you.
Wow, holy shit. I just keep
the...
zooming out.
Yeah, so I will say that there is plenty that you cannot see right now.
Sure.
This is strictly the gates to this place. There are things hidden within that I would reveal the closer in you get.
Okay.
But currently, as you move forward, you see a number of guards up along the side, and there is one kind of solid entrance into this place that you can see currently that leads alongside the massive side of this building, and I'm going to drop what it looks like into Discord. Of this kind of like large, yeah, exactly, foreboding structure that seems to just be like crisscrossed, and you can tell that this is some of the old architecture of the former kingdom that seems to just kind of web and build itself upwards. And in the middle of this is a large doorway that goes up about 25 feet. And at the center of that, you can see a group of guards kind of stationed there in the front, and leading them is a man with a kind of a leather-bound book and a quill pen in the other.
Rakote will approach. Is there any sort of like a is there like a register, a queue? Is there a like what's the scene that I'm walking into? Are they're just standing in a line?
Yeah, let's say that you got here extremely early. If you arrived later in the day, I think I'd have a bit more people, but you are kind of the first out. So you see a few minor people conferring with this man, but it's not long until you are able to reach the front of the line.
Okay. Yeah, when it's Rakote's turn, he will approach however close he's allowed to get. Hopefully within biting distance.
Yeah. And
Good day, sir.
Man,
what can I? Fuck!
Get off! Get off!
The fuck!
And the man will kind of very frankly regard you, and this is who looks back. One eye very clearly having been cut through and kind of completely alabaster white, looking at you, and the other one kind of pinched. All this features of this man seeming to just kind of meet in his nose, and a wide-brimmed hat that hides a curl of red hair.
Yeah, Rakote will again. He'll take his hat off and hold it to his chest. His
Name.
hair's longer than the last time you saw it.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. Yeah, it looks better.
When you say name, he'll say, "I am Rakote."
Rakote, how long have you been on these isles?
Jesus, how long has it been? 2 days?
2 days.
He'll say, two days.
A newcomer. Have you obeyed the laws of Arno, the ones that guarantee your safety and that of your brethren?
Yes. Seeing that he rolled that context before, he'll recite the laws of the lawless.
Yep. All of which is true.
Yeah, and he'll say, I have obeyed every single one. I guess all 3 of them. There's not that many. I've exhausted the list. Yeah, he'll say I have obeyed them.
Then he will just nod and kind of begin writing your name with a few things next to it. And he will say, "And what word do you carry to the wise ear of our General Arno?"
He'll say, I request. He called him a general, not a king.
Yeah, people call him plenty of things, but he seems to offer a military kind of honorific.
Sure. So maybe his grace wouldn't be the proper thing.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Honestly, like, yeah, everything's fine there.
He'll say, I request a service from the court of his grace.
You understand that a service rendered by the great Arno can only be done once an appropriate offering has been made. What do you have to offer?
Well, let's see. Is this a point where a resources would be appropriate?
Um, it would be, let's see, a bit difficult, but yeah.
Yeah, because I've
I
got
honestly, yeah, you can roll it. I'm gonna set the challenge at for what you know currently at a 7.
Jesus.
Also, I have a 1 crown, by the way, or whatever. 1
Hey, that'll
wealth
help.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, 1 well. Yeah, you have 1
That thing you
crown.
gave me.
Yeah.
Oh man, a 7. It would be possible.
God, a 7. Are you telling me a 7? Oh. Fuck. I'm gonna
All right.
curse a real sword.
Let me see what I've got. Wow. All right. Well,
If only it could have been a little bit positive, even at all.
yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah.
Shit.
Roll aspect, check my other pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what I would have because that would inform whether or not I could even try to re-roll it. But even a re-roll, I still need a +3 or higher. Um, because I'm. Man, I've almost got. I feel like I could justify 2 aspects to try to fucking boost it, but I don't have a third one to make it succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Because what realistically would they even have let me keep on the Isle? Because they take weapons. Do they take any gold that you've got on you?
Oh yeah, they confiscate all that.
If they take your money,
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to
everything.
think like realistically like what I even would have right now.
We could say your cane is valuable. It would just be giving up that.
Okay.
And until
You
you
still have your
replace it.
locket, don't you?
Oh man, I do, but holy fuck.
Yeah, that's true. Man. A real sword?
You shouldn't have.
What were you thinking if I did the cane? Like, what would the penalty look like removing that from my character?
I think I put the challenge down at a 5, and then you have an aspect that I could compel or punish you by. Like if I had enemies that have fate points, the fact that you're not balanced, I could
All right.
use fate points against you.
So why don't we do that then? But I would still need to tap an aspect to re-roll, right?
Yep. And you
All
have to
right.
beat let's set the. It's pretty important. I'm going to set the challenge at a 4, so a 5 will give you success.
Okay. So I'm thinking either. I was thinking either the high concept, the once promising marine merchant, or the master of the art of the deal.
There it is. That's the one.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. So I'll go with
That's it.
that one. All right. So I'll
Okay.
re-roll that, and he'll put his cane down. And I feel like Rakote was a wealthy man.
It's a sword cane.
It
It's
is a
got a
sword
sword
cane.
in there.
He does draw a sword and do some sick moves.
Damn.
He was a wealthy man in his life prior to this, before everything happened, and the cane is a relic of that. His cane and his hat are sort of the relics of the past when he was a fancy fucking mogul. So it's made from a sturdy, uh, you know, decent maybe mahogany or something like that, with pretty ornate craftsmanship.
I would
Uh,
like if the base beneath it could be some type of silver, because that would make this whole transaction a lot easier.
Absolutely, yeah. The
Okay,
base can be silver.
cool.
So he'll sort of initially the failure will be justified as he sort of pats his pockets and realizes he's hard up for cash. As he's tapping his fingers on his cane, realizing that might be the answer, he'll turn it over and offer it. And he'll say, "The very last of my worldly possessions from my life before the Isles."
He will kind of regard it with a bit more of a twinkle in his eye and say, "Alloyed silver. That's worth its weight here, especially for the plans we have." And he'll kind of regard it. And I'd say, give me that resources to see if you succeed. Challenge is a 4. Okay, very nice.
Christ.
I could make sure that it and whatever word you have reaches our general.
He says, "Your men are equipped with very fine steel. Steel that I'm sure is tempered by an adept smith. I need that smith to take a look at my friend here. He is burdened by the bondage of his former life. I would see him relieved of that, so that he might have the fighting chance that the rest of us on these isles do."
Your friend, is he a capable fighter? Perhaps with freeing him of these shackles make him more of a service to our general.
Sure.
He's gonna look to you, Rastavan, so as not to make a promise that you can't keep.
Oh, I do much better with my hands free.
He'll say, his capabilities, even bound, are the reason that I am still alive.
You know, you seem promising enough. You understand how things are done. You followed the rules. I cannot grant you a direct audience with the general, but perhaps Nix could talk to you. Tell you what we know and where things are going. Would that interest you?
He'll say, "This Nix, he will have the tools necessary to free my friend."
How about I just have Nix explain things to you?
Very well.
You are still new here, but Nix is an old dog. He'll know where to look. And he will kind of whistle, and the others will kind of part as he starts leading you.
And an old dog will come out.
Yeah.
Comes Lumber. I'm afraid I don't understand.
Get
This
out.
is him.
This is him, the old dog.
How dare you?
I'm afraid
It's just
I
Lucas again.
Yeah.
Ah, come on, not again.
And he's like, "Don't blow this. I'm undercover." And before you opens up the kind of splendor of this place, and you can tell that no rats really get in here because the walls are just flat stone, and not only that, they are kind of just seeped in history. All around you are tabards and paintings and just kind of walls that reflect the former age. And as you are kind of guided deeper and deeper into this place, you see that it is just resplendent with armored guards, many of which you have to walk past as you head deeper and deeper in. And you know that assaulting this place directly would be a very tall order. But as you are kind of moved up and up, you kind of passed a main central hall where a few people seem to be holding court, a large kind of booming voice echoing over all of them. But looking up, Directly to his right is kind of a self-serious man who doesn't say much, but catching the eyes of Jordan, kind of lets himself in through the side, and where he will confer with all of you. Yeah. So let me reveal Nyx real quick. And that's Nyx. Kind of a what would you say? A leather-faced man with a clearly beaten brow ridge and a nose that has probably been twisted into place about 20 times.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just kind of looks over at you through his darkened brow ridge. And Jordan just says plainly, these new fledglings have just washed up on the shore, and I have told them, um, there are people that can show them the way. This one here is a bit hard up currently, as you can tell, and Nyx will regard the chains and just kind of nod. He'll say, they are asking for our smith. And then Nyx will just plainly say, well, you should have known better than to lead them here. It's a simple thing. We have no smith. Why are you wasting my time with this? And Jordan will say plainly, the other one said he was capable. Go. I'll be the judge of that. And Jordan will just curtly bow and say, gentlemen, as he leaves you with face to face with Nyx. And he will just kind of wait for the man to be gone before he regards you, Rostavan, and says, as I've said, we have no smith. Not now, but we hope to have one shortly.
And do you want me to find him?
He will just shake his head no and say, no, we know exactly where it is. And then just to bring us to the map, he will say, in the very heart of Atrawan, the city where those faithful lot hold up and keep all the silver to themselves. But I tell you this now, there is no chance that they will speak to you.
All right. So, what's the plan?
It's simple. We take the forge from them. You will say, does that interest you?
This sounds an awful lot like a war. I'm not really much of a soldier, I gotta be honest.
He will just smile frankly and say, a war is a generous term for what it would be. A bloodbath. The only thing that keeps us from it is the path. It eludes us. There are tombs and crypts beneath this place, and one of them leads into the heart of that city. We
It's a
find the
long
path.
way.
He will nod frankly and say, but it is one we have plans for. There is a man that the general has been looking for, a gold shirt. He knows the way forward. You bring us the man, we take the city, and I free you from your shackles.
Who's the man?
Um, he will just say very plainly, let me bring it up. There it is. A man by the name of Botnik. Corporal Botnik. He was caught on this side of things. He was
Oh,
supposed to make his way here. He did not.
and you don't know where he is?
We have men scavenging currently. We've brought back nothing. You bring back Botnick, bring back what he knows. I guarantee you that Arnaud himself would shake your hand.
Right. That's kind of the problem. He's going to raise his covered hands.
Yeah, he will just kind of nod and say, until then, I'm afraid we cannot help you.
Well, all right then.
And he will just very firmly kind of fold his hands over each other. And then look at you, Rakote. Not really saying anything, just taking an estimation of what you are and who you are.
Yeah, he's sort of defaulted now to cupping his hands together now that he doesn't have his cane to lean on. Just sort of in a salad bar shrimp formation.
Yeah.
Um,
He will say real quick to give you a little something. If you're looking for leads, Jordan ought to have them. He's been organizing the search.
Very well, then. We shall see Jordan on our way out.
And he will just turn on his heels, not really one for any type of decorum beyond that, and reclaim his place next to Arnaud, who seems to be addressing a group below him. And this kind of guard over here will start leading you away.
great.
All right.
Okay. Meanwhile, cut back to the Isle of Rats over here. Both the lady and Crow, you were told that your kind of search would be found, or sorry, your reward would be found in the Plague Pits, an area to the east of the Tomb of the Forgotten.
Yeah.
I assume you start making your way there?
Yeah.
Okay, easy enough. It's easy to find because all you have to do is smell the air and let it carry you towards the rank, defiled kind of plot of land that is just blackened. And from a position high above, near the Tomb of the Forgotten, you can overlook what is tantamount to a mass grave, as thousands and thousands of bodies have just been kind of deposited here. How long ago is almost impossible to guess, but it just kind of like has been pounded into these large rolling hills of just people that separate you from the numerous graves up ahead.
Other than observing that that's where they are, Crow pays very little mind to this and steps right over the bodies with his eyes focused on his destination.
Yeah, the whole plague pit is basically covered in these bodies, but your foot kind of settles onto the backs of these poor individuals, and you really don't have much trouble. It's a little unstable, but you start moving forward. I'm just kind of pushing the skin beneath your feet.
How recently dead do they appear?
Um, you can give me a medicine roll. I think you could probably guess. Yeah. You would guess at least 100 years, 150, a
Old
very
bodies.
long time. The light in their eyes is still there, but it's like just dim.
She'll take note of this as they are surmounting the bodies for their objective. She doesn't make a move on any of them. She's just kind of regarding them in kind of a somber way.
Yeah. As you guys move forward, there are plenty of kind of chittering teeth as you see kind of hidden underneath all this mass of bodies are plenty of rats that skitter underneath your approaching footsteps. And you move further and further eastward, just kind of like fighting against these corpses. And basically what I'm going to have you do is you have the name of the tomb you're looking for. I'm going to want you guys to do something to actually find that tomb. And it'll determine how long it takes for you to do so.
All right.
What?
I can roll a notice, but I certainly don't have any investigate or anything like that.
My investigate is a 2.
Yeah, my notice is a 2. So
I mean, finding it is probably, I guess I would think, investigate.
Yeah. So if you want to lead the
yeah.
charge.
I
Sure.
would like to make it easier, something that I can probably succeed at, because I'd like to use athletics to create advantage by having Crow just, like, really be moving fast. Like, he keeps checking names and is on his way immediately, not pausing, only slowing to a rolling stop.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's set that challenge at just a 1.
Woo!
Okay. Ooh, good. You will have one of those, like fleet foot or something.
Yeah, fleet-footed.
Okay. The investigate challenge is currently a 2.
All right. I use a free invocation.
Woo! Okay, very,
Nice.
very nice. That's great. I'm going to give you all the entrances to this place and kind of give you an option of where you want to enter from.
Boing.
Actually, you could probably already see them. I should have hidden that. That's my fuck up.
An NPC has
okay.
a quest in here.
Yeah, so to clarify, those are the areas that you were told to investigate. The kind of simple map that was drawn for you illuminates these rooms, and you know that if you were to use notice or investigate in those rooms, you could start chipping away at the 10 clues you need in order to find what you're looking for.
All right.
So the challenge, like every positive roll, it's the challenge is set at 0. Every positive roll takes away from that 10 challenge. And once you've completely cleared away 10, you get the rewards you're looking for.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor now. We'll explain that as we get into it. What you do know is that there are currently 3 entrances into this place. And from your high perch, Crow, you notice something very particular about each. This whole area around this tomb is just kind of covered in this rich green ichor that almost seems acidic. It just kind of like bubbles and collects in pools, and has seemed to eat away at the flesh of the humans that have kind of like been suffering underneath it for a very long time. The worst of which is near this top area over here. What looks to be a pit that falls directly into the ground below. All around the pit are kind of corpses and just kind of miscellaneous pieces strewn about, all of which, looking down below, seems to lead about 15 feet downwards into a directly kind of a bloodied mess beneath you. The other entrances, this one over here seems to be the main kind of entryway into this space, a little bit more difficult. And then the easiest of which seems to bypass kind of the most trouble is a second tomb entrance, which overlooks the first. And it seems to be in a much better condition.
Crow sees this, but you can see how his mind works as he immediately is looking from the entrance that immediately goes to one of the points that he's supposed to search to the corresponding place in the real world, and that he is doing some mental math on getting over the 50-foot acid pit.
Yeah, definitely. So there's the acid pit in front of you, and then it looks like you would just have to... It'd be an athletics challenge to get over it without sustaining any damage, and then once you actually land down there, we'd start... you could start your investigation. Be in it.
What? He is going to walk toward it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Got a real one in my throat. All right, what?
Pale Lady will watch Crow, and then she'll say, "It looks rather unsafe going in that way."
He is crouching down and looking into the pit and then gauging the distance. And he says, "Not problem." And I would like him to gauge the challenge of creating advantage by using Bone Spear to huck the spear into, like, throw it and jam it in something, and then he can use that to swing across.
Sure.
Or maybe
so-
what is just the athletics challenge?
I set the challenge at set it at 2. It's a direct path to what you're looking for, but there is some risk there. So athletics challenge of 2 currently.
Oh,
Any
it's already-
difference would be taken as stress.
Well, never mind. I'm not going to go through all of that. I will just use the fate point that I have for this if I need.
Okay. Challenge of 2.
He will take a few steps back and then take a running start forward and go to leap over it. Woo!
Yeah. Okay. You will land, and I'm not gonna. That won't convert to a boost, but I will allow you to stealth as you land, and that's gonna be pretty fucking useful here as I tell you what happens next.
Okay.
But that happens currently as Mac, you see Crow leap into this pit, seemingly one-way trip down into the kind of hollowed out earth below you. What do you do?
I watched. I watched Gary. Can I see him from above?
Yeah, you kind of have to position yourself right. It's not going to make you'd still have to do the athletics challenge if you want to get down there.
Yeah. For now, she will kind of adjust her stance around the opening to see if she can't see where Crow's landed before she makes any decision for herself.
Yeah. You get a real Return of the Jedi scene as Luke is thrown into the pit, and in this instance, Crow, you land amongst the scattered remains of bodies and kind of hollowed out skulls, all manner of teeth kind of already having been pressed into the skull itself. And just as soon as you land, you're able to realize the massive, massive rat, kind of bulbous and miserable, leaking a viscous green fluid onto the ground around you as Filth the Defiler kind of like moves about the space of this area, kind of starting to pick at whatever little meat is left on the bones of the creatures down here.
Oh my god. Just try to
Filth!
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I cannot understate how big this fucking thing is. It pretty much is the Dark Souls equivalent. 14 feet from like nose to like just the butt. The tail adds an additional probably 8 feet to this thing. Large and kind of sniveling, with hairs that bristle in odd angles. And you see all this and have enough time to hide yourself currently, if that is what you wish to do. Otherwise, I will give you an advantage against this thing. Okay. Let's see. This will kind of be the last thing. What was his notice at? It's at a 2.
All right. Fate point.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Red Tide.
Okay.
He is
As a
going to
guide.
land. His boots will scuff too much through the bones, which will attract the many quote-unquote eyes of Filth the Defiler.
Yep.
And when it looks at the music sting, when it looks into the room, the like tip of Crow's ponytail has dipped under the ethereal water that manifests on the surface of the floor before disappearing.
Perfect. And there will just be a movement on the other end as the large, chittering, mutated face of this rat regards the movement of the skulls. And it just kind of starts moving closer to them, further away from you, as the kind of camera will just fade on this giant creature lumbering ever closer. And Mac, from a high atop your position, you see, illuminated in the kind of rank sunlight, this creature moving closer.
Oh.
Yeah, get her.
Do it.
It won't.
Take
I'm
her.
high up.
And that will be where we end this week.
All right. I like Filth. He's a good boy. He's gonna become my mount. Pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
You
are
sink right in.